Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Showcase on Dark Souls 3. Hope everyone's doing okay today. Now, for today's weapon, I figured, why not just get this one over and done with before I get the last few of the weapons out of the way. I also requested a few days ago, but now here it is, the Hollowslayer Greatsword. Yes, the same one that I think her name was Lucatio? I forget how to pronounce it. Anyway, the description reads, Greatsword used for a lifetime by a masked knight. Lifetime, huh? You must love that weapon then. Harbors the fears that lurk within the minds of hollows. Is particularly effective against them. Bestowed to a proper Mira knight long ago, two-handed to execute a special sword technique. The skill is the stance, which is used across many blades. On stance, use normal attack to break a foe's vanguard below, use strong to slash upwards for forward lunge. So yes, lore-wise, the sword makes sense. Lucatio, I still think it's her name is pronounced, had abrupt fear and hatred of becoming hollow, of the cursed undead. So this makes sense a bit. But it actually does more damage against hollows, we'll find out. Visually, the weapon looks identical to the sword from Dark Souls 2, simply named Mira's Greatsword, named after her knight status. So yes, the weapon is identical, as we can see. I think actually the Dark Souls 3 version looks a little slender. But anyway, let's get the leather sheath and everything else. Which most greatswords of that period, if you created one, would have that sheathed area wrapped in leather. It would not be sharp either, because you'd normally rest it on your shoulder when not in combat. Since giant swords didn't normally have scabbards, that is. In that game, it didn't really mention it was any better against any other particular foe. But we'll see if there's a dramatic difference or a very small one. We'll find out. Moving on. Going on to the stats for the Hollowslayer Greatsword. Well, physically, we actually got pretty good physical damage. This is a boss weapon though, so this makes sense. And not only that, we got excellent bonus damage. It's already well above half. Well above half. Now for the true bonus, you got a D for strength and a C for dexterity, which is strange for a greatsword. Asking for more dexterity. As also reflected in tribute requirements, we need 14 strength and 18 dexterity. Then we got the usual stance, for shared across most of the blades in the game. The same FP cost too, 17 for the shield break and then 20 for the powerful thrust. The weight of the Hollowslayer is only 8.5, so it's not too hefty for a greatsword. It is heavier than some of them, but not the heaviest. And certainly with plenty of firepower to boot. Moving on to the animations for the Hollowslayer Greatsword. The basic animations, the, stereotypical heavy greatsword swing. The power attack is a jab and an overhand swing. This is very unusual for greatswords, only I think a couple of them wield it. And the two-handed version of the light attack, as you see, is a very extravagant swings. I know my Drake Blood Sword uses not many other heavy swords. The heavy attack, two-handed wise, you can see it's a heavy jab and overhead swing. Using the weapon in the left hand doesn't offer any new animations whatsoever, so there's really no point. Unless you really like to wield the items in the left hand. Now for the stance, nothing special here. It's all the basic moves shared across every blade. Well, almost every blade. But still, they're equally handy as they are common. With breaking shields and heavy jabs. And a sprint attack for the Hollowslayer is a quick spin around slash. Rather quick. Alright, to upgrade the Hollowslayer Greatsword, you'll need Tate Knight's Scale. It is a boss weapon after all, so you only have a couple upgrades, but every upgrade you get a lot of damage, and you do get a lot of damage, both base-wise and bonus. Each bonus of the bonus will catch up to the base damage at the end. Let's see. For Trio bonus, we're not seeing any dramatic difference, and here we are moving on to the final upgrade. So yes, Trio bonus did not change, and the bonus damage didn't quite surpass the main damage, but it surely came close, and there's plenty of it. Plenty of damage indeed. Now it goes without saying this is a boss weapon, so it cannot be infused, but that's no real surprise, is it, given the nature of this weapon. Alright, now, we expect this weapon to be natural, but what does constitute? What is a hollow? It is a person who is undead, immortally undead. Are these Cathedral Knights hollow? Backstab-wise, we got a lot of damage, 670. And a heavy jab is plenty of that. We can assume these guys are hollow. We can visually see that their eyes are red. They are rather undead. So 475. Plenty of damage. Now, how we measure their damage is a better question. But let's at least show off that this thing can indeed break the guard of a shield, as you see there. Just so we can skip down the footage, so this video isn't too long. Now, we're going to compare some weapons here. I got the Executioner Greatsword, which is actually stronger ever so slightly. The damage is incredibly close. Like a mere, 15, 10 damage. Alright. So here's the Hollowslayer, 470. And here's the... You can see the Executioner Greatsword did around 30 less. So we should see, let's see it again. 475 and 416. So pretty much a 50 damage, 60 damage difference. Here's some backstabs. Over 1,000 for the Hollowslayer. Wow, that hurt. Alright. And Executioner, not even 930. Remember that Executioner Greatsword is actually stronger via points of damage. So that's a major increase of damage. We're looking at 10% to 15% more damage to 20%. It varies based on who you're fighting. But for the Cathedral Knights, and you can see for this guy, the damage difference is traumatic. For some reason, it does less damage against their Gorgiles. I don't know why. No one lists the reason why. But in the end, here we are at the Black Knight. Now, will it do more damage against him is a good question. We give it a swing, got 230. Let's get the Executioner Greatsword. Alright, let's just get a basic attack in here. Okay, so you have no difference, no damage boost here, and it's acceptable amount of damage difference. So there you go, it does a lot more damage against hollows. For some reason it does less damage against Gorgiles. I'm not sure what constitutes that reason, but no matter, still excellent weapon otherwise. Let's move on to the pros and cons of the Hollowslayer Greatsword. On the pros, it does indeed do more damage against hollows, as we've seen. And the special is always incredibly helpful. We're breaking shields and doing extra damage and whatnot. It's a fairly easy to use sword overall, with good damage. Alright, on the cons, it does less damage against Gorgiles. I have to put that specifically, because I didn't notice any other... When I tried against other enemy types, didn't notice a difference. Just Gorgiles for some reason. And it cannot be infused, clearly, since it is a boss weapon of nature. But those are the pros and cons. Very minor cons, since you only found one against one enemy so far that the blade does terrible against. Now, going on to the score for the Hollowslayer Greatsword. Damage gets 8 out of 10. Considering there's a lot of enemies that are hollow out there, this does plenty of damage. It's about a 50-50 split. Reach, 7 out of 10. Pretty much the average reach for a Greatsword. Animation, I'll also give a 7 out of 10. It uses the very uncommon animation moveset of Greatswords. I think only 2-3 other swords use this animation set, or maybe 2. This included. For a bonus, I'll give it 8 out of 10. Now you got a lot of bonus damage out of this, and my dexterity isn't as good as my strength, though if it was, I'm pretty sure that bonus damage would have surpassed the base damage. For Misk, a 7 out of 10. It's not the best greatsword in the game, but it's clearly one of the most useful for doing extra damage with. Not to mention, if you're more dexterity character, it's also an excellent weapon for you to wield. But, mind you, most people use dexterity, don't go for slow weapons like greatswords. But no matter. In the end, I give the Hollowslayer Greatsword 37 out of 50. It's a must-have, clearly. It's incredibly useful. Why wouldn't you not take it? Then again, the other alternative is a Taurus's Greatsword, so you'll be tempted. So yes, that concludes today's weapon. Excellent. Better than the Taurus's Greatsword, or Ultra Greatsword, I should say, this time around. That's a hard choice, but I am more of a classic veteran, so I'll probably choose that. But still, this weapon's no less just as excellent. But anyway, that's been Showcase for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching and hope to see you guys next time. Take care out there.